Good morning, friends. How are you all? Glad to see you again this Monday morning. Happy Monday, the let's see, 20 no 18th. Today's the 18th of October, 2021. Glad to be spending the next few moments with you in our regular weekday podcast. This is the Bin Checkin podcast. I'm your host, Biniam. I'm a life recalibrator. Good morning. How are you, my friends, coming in? I see you guys coming in. Um, this is the way I love to start my day with you guys, doing my self reflection questions as an exercise of self care for me, primarily, first and foremost. But then one that I also want to extend and share with you guys so that you guys can also be a part of that experience as I seek to grow in my experience as a human being. Hello, friends. I see y'all coming in. How are you? How was the weekend for y'all? I hope you had a restful time if you had time off. I hope that things are well in your life because as we re engage in another work week, we are never off shift from seeking to become better specimens of ourselves, right? We are on a mission to grow, to experience, to become more intuitive, to be able to see the colors around us, and to be aware of how we are evolving and changing over time. There's three key factors that support this podcast as we reflect on them on an ongoing day in, day out basis. The three things that I find really helpful for me in my evolution, in my growth as a person. Those three things are as follows. Number one, awareness of ourselves, who we are, how we're changing, things that we value, things that we are changing our perspectives on, like so many areas and ways that we are changing over time. And then following the awareness piece of ourselves, we also want to grow in kindness to ourselves. Friends, let me tell you, I would love to express as much care and love for you guys, but it needs to come from you first and foremost, right? I want you to see that the really important starting place for kindness in the way you receive it is not from others around you, but from you yourself. And then finally, wanted to experience a lot more happiness as we experience and process all the other challenging emotions. Welcome to the 76th episode of the Bin Checkin In podcast. I am awesome, Kyle. Good to see you. I see you, Brandon. Nice to have you here. Lewis, how are you? Ollie, nice to have you in the chat as well. I am so thrilled to see my familiar names when I go live on this podcast. And you know, something is that's interesting. I remember, hello, young man, says Lewis. Something that's interesting is I remember when I was doing my live streams on TikTok and I had like tons of people on there on the live streams and they would be saying, Biniam, please don't forget me when you're famous. And I would say, how can I forget you guys? That's okay, Brandon. No worries. I'm glad you're back again. I am in Calgary. Yes, Trinity. One of the questions I was being asked by those on the live stream was, "Hey, please don't forget me when you become big." And I said, "I don't forget those who are close to me. I don't forget those who have invested and become a part of my life." And so that's why when I see the names on here, I'm like, "I recognize you," and you become dear friends. And I really appreciate the time you're spending to listen not only into the live stream here or the recording, but also to be able to be share your life with me. I consider this something really impacting and meaningful. So, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me tell you a quick summary of my weekend. This weekend, my friends, I was so busy. Busy, working away on my website because I am this week releasing an opening, if you will, to a course I have coming up next week. Super excited about it. There's just, oh my goodness, there's a lot of work that has gone into this course that I'm going to be presenting in a week's time. But in the meantime, I've also put together a free workshop that I want you guys to have access to, a free workshop. And that's on my website, bennymasters.com. Go check it out. It's at bennymasters.com/epic-conversations if you wish to go to the specific page, but you can find it on bennymasters.com. That's my name. And I would love for you guys to have access to this. I would even further love to have you guys join me on this upcoming course in a week's time. It is going to be epic. Oh my goodness. I am so I'll be talking a lot more about this in the coming week here. and really encouraging folks to be a part of that. But in the meantime, I just wanted to give you a little snippet. You guys are the first ones that I'm sharing this announcement with. So go check out my website, BennyMasters.com, and become a part of what I'm doing here in a week's time because it is life changing. It is. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to just pause, settle down because I'm obviously super excited about what's going on there. And I'm going to shift gears into the context of our get together today. And that is what's going on in our personal evolution and development as fellow human beings. So, as we are engaging in this branch here, here is today's question that we're answering. It's a self reflection question helping us focus on our relationships and how to enhance and get those better. The question goes as follows today. Let me try that again. The question goes as follows. When you get together with your extended family, what do you do? What do you do when you get together with your extended family? That's the question we're answering today. Let me talk a little bit about this question because this question can be perceived in different ways for a variety of people. For some people, this is an amazing time. They can't wait for when their family gets together. It's a really happy time. They get together, they share time with one another, they share experiences. It's a really wonderful setting and context whereby they walk away feeling refreshed. That's a really cool thing when there is that opportunity to spend time with family, and it is a fantastic, blissful time. There's something that's ever happened in that context that makes it a really sweet time. Um, I'm not sure if all of us can share that experience, though. I'm not sure if all of us can share the experience whereby when we get together with those that we love and care for deeply because they're family, it's that thrilling of a time. So whenever I met my friends who loved their family and the time they spent together, I often was curious to understand what was it that went into making that family context as sweet and delightful as it was. That is something that always intrigues me and saying, what has your family done to be able to make this setting, this get together so good? How is it that you guys are able to get together and this is such a beautiful time? What kind of things did you have to agree on or work on to be able to really genuinely enjoy your time together? Because I know in my context, I struggled. I definitely struggled, as you'll hear in my share. But there are those. And then there's others for whom it's a nightmare. For lack of better words, it's a nightmare when you get together with your family because it's like, oh, I think I told you that before, though. Yeah, you did tell me your mom's coming to Cal. This Friday is amazing. That's exciting, my friend. I can't wait. So, what is it that goes into dysfunctional expressions in family? So, when they get together, it's a painful time. It's the kind of setting when there's like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this. I feel great obligation to be there, but I don't want to be in this setting. And it's not going to be a relaxing, rejuvenating, encouraging time with my family. What is the difference between when it happens really well and when it doesn't happen really well? I've got some ideas that I've learned along the way because I had to learn through some mistakes and challenges along the way. I'm happy to share those with you in just a few moments here. But when you get together with your extended family, it is also presuming that you do get that opportunity to get together with your extended family. However, for some of us, we may actually intentionally not get together with family because it is not that kind of a place that we find is going to serve us very well. There are many that I've interacted with who have shared with me that their family is just not safe. Their family is very toxic in the environments that ensues when they all get together. So they say, I don't find it really helpful to be in that space with my family. I've not seen my dad for many years, or I don't talk to my mom, or I don't pursue keeping up with my siblings or uncles or aunts or whatever that dynamic or context is. There are many who may opt not to get together with their family because they say, this does not serve me. This is not going to help me in my present setting. And so I'm just going to avoid those opportunities. Well, in that case, if that is what your scenario looks like, I guess we could also shift this question to say, when you get together with your chosen family, Because sometimes that has become a substitute for many of you who are listening. Many of you who are listening who say, I do not have access to my family, nor do I want to have access because the setting is just not great. It entails, though, that you're still going to be looking for those places, those communities, those people who you can learn to trust and bring into your inner circle, into that vulnerable space where you can really do life together. And that's where we've thought of this new term called your chosen family. Who are your chosen family? And what do you do when you get together with them? You might get together with them on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, but these are individuals that you've chosen and you've either communicated to them or you feel this about them that you would say, hey, I trust you. I want you to be my close person. I want you to be the one who is going to get to know me in a really intimate way where you can see me in the mess of my house or with bed hair or whatever, and I know I still feel safe because you're my person that way. So for many of us, that is the scenario. I know I've got friends like that who say, yep, my family, I'm not interested in spending time with them. And yet they say, hey, Binyam, you're one of my chosen family. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful expression. What do you do when you get together with your chosen family if it's not your extended family or your biological family? I would love to hear your assessments or your takes of what happens when you get together with them. And as you're considering what you do when you get together, I also want us to be thinking about, is this wonderful time spent together? Is this meaningful and invested in the right way? Or is it the kind where you're like, oh, I guess I'll just put up with it and kind of go through the motions? We're looking at today's question from a point of reflecting how can we improve those relationships in our lives, especially when it comes to family. This is why we move from observation into consideration of, okay, here's what we're observing. Now what do we think or want to do about that? How do we want to proceed forward in the most strategic and the most impacting way that serves you and them as well? That is part of that question that I would like us to answer as we consider this question. When you get together with your extended, your biological or your chosen family, what do you do? So, yes. Oh, and then just a couple more observations here. It also entails that you do something. You are having some activities that you do while you're hanging out, right? And sometimes we may think that that's all we need to do is just consider and say, yeah, this is what we do. Here's what we engage in when we get together, X, Y, and Z. But there's that also further reflection that says when you do get together, you just don't sit around, right? Genesis, what's my main source of income? It was Uber. I took a break from Uber about a month ago to shift into the business that I've been putting together, and so I'm hoping it becomes my business that I'm putting together, which you can find out more on my website at binyamasters.com. Thanks for asking, Genesis. So, yes, I would encourage and exhort us to consider what is it that we do, because when we get together with people and we do something, for example, here we are, you and we've got this exchange right now where you're listening into my podcast, and in listening to my podcast you're doing something, you're considering the ideas that I'm proposing, you're hearing my experiences, you're considering your setting in comparison to mine and saying, what do I think or feel about what he's putting out there? Do I agree with what he's saying? Do I have some other thoughts? And so you're engaging thoughtfully, you're engaging reflectively as we talk about these themes. You are doing something. You and I together are doing something. If I'm sitting with you across the table out for coffee, we'd still be doing something. Yes, we're drinking coffee, but there's something even more tangible, and that's we're connecting, we're bonding, right? And I'm glad to have met you too, Brandon. The feeling is mutual. So, what are we doing when we get together with our family? Whatever that is this a really good investment of time? That is what I also want us to consider. And then also consider the beautiful gift that it is that we do get to spend with those who are close to us. Yes, Cayman. I'm feeling the same. Actually, it's not as cold here. It's a little bit warmer, but it's that season now, isn't it? Good to see, my friend. So, yes, what is it that we can be doing to enjoy the beautiful gift it is when we get to spend with those that we love? The question again, friends, is when you get together with your extended, your chosen, your biological family, what do you do? Consider the beautiful nuggets of of beauty in that time you get to spend with those who are closest to you. Don't let those moments pass, dear friends, and slip by without you reflecting and saying, "This is wonderful opportunity here to be able to invest time with those that I love because it's enriching me, it's nourishing me." We still have 15 to 20 degrees up until last week. Now we're down to 5 to 10 degrees. Oh, that is a bit of a chill. There is, my friend, a bit more of a chill. Let me answer the question for myself, guys. When I get together with my extended family, what do I do? Well, honestly, my extended family lives all over the world, primarily in Ethiopia, where I'm from. So I don't really get a chance to spend with my cousins, with my aunts or uncles. Now, because of the internet, it is possible to be a lot closer by way of, sending messages. It is the Calgary Tower behind me. You got it, okay, man. Yep. Yes. What is it like? Yeah, for me, when I am living far away from my extended family, I could be keeping in touch with them through Facebook, through WhatsApp, like so many different options now. But one of the things I know about me, and I used to be apologetic about it, but I'm not apologetic anymore, and that is that I do not keep in touch long distance with friends very well. Now, facilitating this connection with you guys on social media where I'm connected with you all over the world, from Toronto to Ireland to Australia, all over the world where you guys are listening in and connected with me. It is something of a challenge to that because here I am now able to communicate and keep in touch with you guys, even though I was saying I don't really necessarily keep in touch with my closest family or even my friends long distance for that matter. That's just not my forte. I like being in a geographical space where I can get together with them. So, in relation to my extended family, I just haven't been able to have that kind of connection that I would have liked. And so as a result, I feel very distant from them, if you know what I mean. However, I do have here in the city, this beautiful city. You can probably see behind me the Calgary Tower. Can you see that on the Instagram? It's right over there. This is the beautiful city landscape behind me, the city skyline. But in this city, I've got my two sisters living here, which is fantastic. In fact, sorry, I'm just catching up with the comments. What's up with your cheap $5 headsets? You know what? I actually love these headsets. And I'm totally unapologetic about enthusiastically enjoying them. So I hope it's not too much of a bother for you, but if it is, I can't help you. No worries, my friend. Packing. So, what I would like to say is that with my two sisters here, the one sister, I convinced her to move out here. She's my baby sister. So thrilled to have her out here. She's like she's 19 years old. She's 22 years my junior. So she lives here with me now, and I'm so excited to have her here. Loved watching her and my other younger siblings growing up from like babies, and like I say, I was significantly older than them. So it's thrilling to have her out here now. And so she and my other sister and her boyfriend, we get together on a regular basis. They're family for me. They're like in my circle, but I am I'm thrilled we're carving time out. We said let's make this a regular thing where we get together on a weekly basis, where getting together either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday evenings. This week we're getting together on a Wednesday evening, and we just hang out. We have dinner together. We play games. We laugh. We share experiences. We in essence, continue to maintain the connection. And it's a beautiful, amazing time. So love it. It's just like, I can't wait till I see them again. And we genuinely enjoy each other's presence. We love hanging out together. My sister who lives with me, my 19-year-old sister, she and I get along so well that we're saying, hey, let's go and have social time together. Like, let's go for a drink at the bar. We'll be each other's wingmen. That's the kind of relationship we have where it's just really, really sweet and in depth. It's just like a fantastic, fantastic connection. And so I so appreciate and enjoy it. And even as I reflect on that connection, oh, I would love to go to LA. Okay, man, that would be amazing. I would love that. It's coming soon. I have no doubt. I'm gonna like hire you as my cameraman, and we will go do some business there. We will go do some business. I would love that opportunity. Wait, your sister's 19? I'm about to be 19 soon. Wow, I know K-Man. She's my baby sister, and she is yeah, it's yeah, I would love for you to meet her. So when we get together, though, guys, can I tell you how rich of a time it is? And it is such an amazing time that we say, this was fun. Let's do this again. We want to do this more often. And it's just a brilliant time, a lovely time that I get to spend with my sisters and the one sister's boyfriend. And so that has made it a really happy setting. What do we do? Let me just break it down. We get together, we carve out like a night every week to spend time together. We share food together. We eat dinner together. We laugh at jokes. We play games. We stay up late into the night. We make memories. We make memories that are going to be worthwhile reflecting on later. And as we do that, it continues to build on our relationship. So all those activities that we do are really just opportunities to share our lives with each other, share our experiences, share our desires and our comforts. All those things are just brilliant. I'm going in December if you want to tag along. Well, K-Man, if my business takes off in a really super fantastic way, I would love to consider yes. That would be amazing. So that is what I do with my sisters when we get together, and that's the family context in which I have. I've got my not extended, but my chosen family as well, my close group of friends, and I get together with them on a weekly basis as well. Usually on Saturday nights now is when we get together. And what do we do when we get together? This group of friends that have gotten together for the last couple of years, we've dived deep into the wells of friendship and support and encouragement for one another by getting together, sharing food, hanging out, talking, sharing experiences, making memories, like so many beautiful things that makes this one of my like priorities in my schedule. I carve time out for that because it means a lot to me that I can connect with these friends and build something worthwhile. Keep it up. I will do so, obviously. And so that's something that also is really important for me there. My chosen family. I would call them my chosen family. I call them up when things are going rough and I need an ear to listen to. We spend time outside of that collective get together, encouraging and doing things together. With some of those friends, I've started another podcast called The Friendology. These are my guy friends who I said, guys, let's get together and present a model of what masculine friendship could look like that is intimate, that is solid, so that others can be encouraged by it. And you can check that out at Friendology. In fact, we're doing a podcast tonight. So if you'd like to be a part of that, stay tuned. Hello from Ottawa, Sama. How are you? Good to see you. So that is what I do. Now, has it always been this rich and exciting for me when I spend time with my family, whether it's my biological family or my chosen family? No. Let me tell you the experiences when it wasn't so hot or stellar. Before my experience in getting together with my family, my mom and dad, do you have it on Spotify? I do have it on Spotify. Yes, Brandon. And let me see if I can just can I type it in? I can't type it in. That's okay. It's Friendology. Friend, Friendology. There we are. Friendology. That's where you can find that podcast. However, it wasn't always so great for me in my experience when I was getting together with family. It wasn't until I left home that I realized how dysfunctional my family can be. We are messy. Holy crap. I didn't see how messy we were when I was living at home. And it took me leaving home to say, wow, we got a lot of stuff to work on here. And so for me, that observation came about when I saw how whenever we got together there was tremendous conflict, there was fights, there was arguments, there was disagreements. It was just not a fun thing. And so we're always bracing for having to get together with a family, and primarily here's why I think that was so. I think it was just such a place of discord because for my part, I'm going to speak about me personally. I hadn't learned how to be able to give my family the space to be whoever they are. In fact, I cared and loved so deeply for my family. I'm not sure if you can relate with me. I cared so deeply about my family that I wanted to control their lives in the way that I thought it should go, even though I had my own stuff that I had to work through. And I didn't give them the space, the patience to be able to figure out their own stuff and respect and honor those bounds that would enable them to figure their own pathway out. I stepped over those boundaries and said, I'm going to figure out your problems for you, and you should listen to me. That's not really helpful, is it? No, and that's how I engaged with my family. And that's why it made it once upon a time so like so conflict ridden, and it wasn't the greatest place to be or spend time in. So that was my experience. So what's the contrast? The contrast for me between that season when I did not know how to give space and boundaries for people to be who they are and figure out whatever it is they need to figure out, and now where I love the time I spend with my family is a key specific point, and that is I learned my own boundaries. I learned how to keep my own boundaries and say, hey, I'm going to look after me and figure out my own stuff. I'm going to let them figure out their own stuff and give them the space to be able to do that. How can I, in essence, let them do what they need to do? How can I do what I need to do in being able to move forward in such a way that I'm able to walk into my own truths, experience my own experiences, take ownership and accountability for my own actions, and I'm going to let them do the same. And I'm not going to be on their case saying, hey, you should do this. And no, I'm going to let them figure out their own life because I have enough work already figuring out my own life. That was a significant epiphany, a significant discovery that enabled me to go from really dreading my family get-togethers and saying, "Oh man, this is gonna be so tough because we're all of course we're gonna fight and argue and all that kind of stuff," to moving into a new zone where now it's like, love it because as I enjoy them, I'm enjoying them by watching from the sidelines and saying, "Hey, as you're sharing with me your life, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm not gonna choreograph where your life should be going or what your decisions should be. I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'm gonna watch how you're gonna make your decisions, and I'm gonna give you the space to figure out your own life. I'm gonna support you when you ask for support, but I'm gonna also let you have that space." That for me was a game changer. This is how I was able to walk into that zone of going from dreading family get togethers and saying, oh, to now saying, I love it. And this is beautiful in its expression. And the way this has happened was not by mistake, it was by me saying intentionally, how can I figure out my own stuff, keep my own crap on my own side, and learn to be the best version of myself that I can be? And how can I let them do that for themselves and encourage them in that process, but give them space, patience, and time to do that? That is how it kind of made sense for me to get to this point of really enjoying my family and saying, hey, how can I give them that? Because in that setting, it's free. There's freedom. There's freedom to be who you are. There's freedom for me to be who I am, and we can move forward. This is still the same one, my friend. The same tune for this podcast, cueing the start and the end. The intro and the outro is what they call it in technical terms in podcast world. Oh, it's the dryer. I'm not sure if it's dryer or something else. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, friends, I am so thrilled to have had you here for the last half hour or so as we reflected on the question, what do we do with our extended family when we get together with them? And what does that mean when we consider what it is that we do? How can we enjoy happy times with those that we care for deeply in our lives? How can we know our boundaries so that we can make the decision that some of you may have already made, saying, it's not a safe place for me to be with my family, and so I'm not going to be a part of them, but I'm going to consider who my extended family is or who my chosen family is. Close friendships that I'm going to say, you're to me like a brother or a sister or a mom or a dad. I've got friends who say they've got chosen parents because of the impact and influence that they've had. Friends, what does it look like for you also to be that kind of an encouragement for someone in your life, to make that space possible where they may not have family that they can be around, but they can say to you, can you be my chosen family because I really value who I am when I'm around you? That's worthwhile and a beautiful gift to receive from someone. We're talking about connections, relationships, experiencing life in amazing ways. As a life recalibrator, that's what I'm invested in, is recalibrating your past so that you can rewrite your future. Looking at your past and saying it's not a write-off. There's something beautiful in the expression and existence of who you are and where in the past that can help determine who you're going to be and rewriting your future. I am all for inspiring and encouraging that kind of outlook, guys, that your life counts in a really important way. That's why I give myself to this podcast and saying, let me share with you my experiences so that if by any chance there's something that I'm saying that could encourage you, I would love for that to happen. Check out my website, thebenimasters.com. Sign up for my course in 2 weeks' time. Take my free workshop. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Have a great Monday.